Hey, it's Soleil, and this is episode 72 of the Orange Pill Investor. Of course, I'm going to do the update to the 5K challenge, but this shit was hilarious. I know some other people noticed it too. So I did a 300 follower celebration post yesterday, and I woke up this morning to 250, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess if you uh, celebrate your follower count, maybe Twitter just jumps in there and cuts you down to size and says don't get your ego too inflated. So, but I think maybe they just did some kind of bot purge or something, and so I ended up having to amend that post. I was like, holy shit, 300 to 250. That was kind of brutal. And so all my sexy thought bots are gone, which is probably a good thing. But let's check out the account. Recovered nicely from last week, was down 20%, so up 10% this week, which is nice. And need to perform the Friday ritual of rolling. All right, so we got Mara, we got Hut, and I will go ahead and pull up the spreadsheet as well. And Mara is at 21, which works out nicely because we had 22 calls and 2250 calls. So we'll be able to buy these back for not much. And this is the little bit of friction that I was talking about when if if you're going to get 5% a week or 1% a week or 3% a week, there's a little bit of friction getting in and out of the trade because there's a bid-ask spread, and there's a little bit of friction getting out of the trade depending on how much it's going to cost you. So let's do it this way on this one. I'm gonna, oh, sorry, not view all options. I want to just close it. And let's see if it closes for $6. 6 cents times 100. And in the interest of time, I am not gonna let this thing hang around too long. Let's just smash the ask. All right, cool. Now I can view all options. That released my 100 shares of collateral. And because Bitcoin is so volatile, I like to bake in a lot of call away value. Let's go to next week. And so if the price is 21 now, adding another 20% or excuse me, 10% for next week, a 1 week move of 10% is really not unheard of for these stocks. So that would be around $2.10 up from the price here. So 10 cents gets you to 21.50, another $2, 23.50. So let's go to 23.50 and sell. See if that goes through at the mid price or if it's going to make me replace the order. So that gives a full 10% in callaway value and then about 2.5% of premium, which to me is excellent. If you get 2% a week for 50 weeks, that is 100%. That would be doubling your money. Let's just drop it all the way down. High fill likelihood. I should hope to shit in your hat. Robinhood. I'm pretty sure I smashed the bid. See, that's the other thing. There's no way that there's not a frickin' bot monitoring these transactions because I put it in. I mean, the price can fluctuate, but like, let's just smash the bid here. Come on, let's get this over with. All right, cool. So I got paid $50 ish. I'll go ahead and actually I should probably, yeah, it'll be easier to just do this now with the going to the No, I'll do it all. I'll do all the history and spreadsheet shit later. All right, so let's get rid of this one. I was going to use roll, but I'm going to do them both the same way. So let's just close this, pay $3, done. Now, do we want to get fancy and get a little greedier with the premium on this one and go down to 23, or get greedier with the callaway value and go up to 24? I don't really read the charts too much, but let's just look and see what Mara has done. So up, down, kind of, if I was down here, I would probably go to like 20, at least 20, 21. But I've come up and then back down. So what was it? It was at 22.5 at its highest. So let's get a little less greedy. It's only getting $8 less, but giving another 50 cents of callaway value potential. Now that is not promised. The only thing that's promised is the premium. And of course they're gonna make me put this back in again. Mara usually fills pretty quickly and easily. The bid-ask spreads are pretty good, 41, 43. All right, that's done. Next is Hut. And Hut is going to cost me. I was very, very greedy with the premium, and I went for these 7.5 calls when Hut was at 7. And so now it's 870. And so the people who criticized me for selling covered calls were actually right this week. Don't tell them. They are assholes. And I don't want to give them anything to celebrate. So let me go ahead and close them both at the same time. Let's see if this closes at 122. Boom. Let's view all options. If you're doing the wheel, you would just let these get exercised and you just let someone else own your shares, which would be fine. But it probably creates a taxable event. I prefer to just roll the option itself instead of letting the shares get called away. So let's bake in. I mean, if I want to get 1%, I only got to collect like up here at 11 or 12. But let's bake in a little bit more premium than that, but let's still at least allow for 10%. 10% would be about 90 cents, which would get us to $9.60. So let's round that up to 10 and allow for $1.30 in callaway value. Let's do 2 of those. Cha-ching. Hut's filling actually faster than frickin' Mara. Wild. All right, so we just got paid. I should have been paying attention. I think we got paid about $1. It was like $50 each for those. And Hut was, oh, it should still be here. If I do equity, what they're worth? No. Last price. Yeah. Yeah, so I got 50, 50, 60. So let's see, 60 and 40, about $1. $1.50. All right. So we made $150 selling covered calls today. And I decided on a little bit of a new strategy. So I always said you want to keep amassing shares until you get to 100 here. But I'm thinking instead of amassing MicroStrategy, because I think MicroStrategy will appreciate faster than anything else. So I would actually prefer, and so what is this worth? This is worth $468. I would really, I'm tempted to just keep amassing MicroStrategy, to be honest. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sell these. Yeah, if I sell these HUT shares now, what do I need? I need 64 shares at $9. Need about 500 bucks to get another 100 shares. So I'm just gonna do that. I've got this buying power, so I'm barely using, not really a lot of my margin. The price of these shares coming back up definitely helped. So I'm actually just gonna buy the 64 shares here. And what I'm going to do in the future is I'm going to amass little bits of MicroStrategy here and there, and then when I need to buy another 100 shares, I'm just going to sell a little chunk of MicroStrategy, which I'm thinking will have appreciated more than the shares would have themselves. So we'll see how that works. But this lets me sell another covered call for next week. And I like to, whenever I buy 100 shares, I like to get real greedy and just lower the cost basis a lot, as much as I can. But I don't want to go all the way at the money. I mean, that's not much here. But this would allow for 75 cents of call away value, which is almost 10%. So let's do that. Let's see if 44 goes through. Nice. And so I technically, I used some margin. I bought more shares than I really kind of earned. I generally try to only buy shares with what I sold. So you sell 200 bucks worth of premium, you buy $200 worth of shares. But in this case, I had those 100 shares hanging out, so I wanted to just go ahead, spend a little extra on those shares, and then enable me to sell another covered call. So I think I'm good here. Nothing expires today. Nope. So that's how this works. Oh, I'm tempted. So I've got these long Tesla leaps, and this is cheap. So I'm just gonna grab one. This is my gambling here. This is my gambling problem. All right, let's pay another $1 for this damn thing. All right, so try to dollar cost average into this long Tesla play here. I'd really like to have one of these in MicroStrategy. Oh my God. But MicroStrategy is crazy. If I go to January of next year and go all the way, that's the cheapest option at the 3150. They need like a $6,000 frickin' option up here. This is 38 grand. Like I want something up here that's like 100 bucks. So, Robinhood, if you're listening, get your shit together. All right, so that is that. Let's just go over the spreadsheet. And let me pull up this. I'm actually going to pull this up on my other monitor so I don't have to tab. So these HUT $10 calls. Move this bad boy over. Got 31 cents each for that. So, sell, call. This is 322, 400. Nope, it's actually 200. 0.31. We got same as last week. Is that right? All right. Okay. Lowered the cost basis, but this is going to be the problem. So, wait, I thought I sold another covered call. Yeah, here we go, the 9.5. So this one I got 44 cents. 24.4, 100 shares. Sell, call, 22 March. All right, but I went ahead and bought shares into March. Bought 64 shares at. This is going to pump up my price actually here. Show history. Bought 64 shares for $559.27. Oh, but I got to put in the price, so $8.74. Close enough. All right, so now it's showing that I have 300 shares. Sweet. My cost basis went up to 7 because I just paid like $9 a share for this crap. And as long as I'm selling calls above 7-ish, I am good. I am profiting. So loving it. Oh, but I have to put, okay, this might screw me. This might screw up my numbers up here a little bit. Let's see how the spreadsheet reacts to this, because let me just bring this back over. So I actually bought, oh, wow, I'm scrolled way too far down. So I bought today's back for 122. I bought 2 contracts back for 122. So this is actually going to count against me because this was, let's see, so buy. Oh, no, I was doing that on the left, but making it negative numbers. Close, sell, call, 22 March. It's 200 shares, and it's negative 122. Yeah, so that pumped my cost basis up to 785. Totally fine. I'm, my strikes are like what, 10 something. So if these get called away at 9.5 or 10, this is pure profit here. So this is totally fine. This is right on schedule. All right, let's check out Mara and update the spreadsheet. Mara. The 24. Move this over again. Sell call, 22 March. 100 shares, because I think I did these separately. Yep, I sold it for 0.41. And sell call, 22 March. 100 shares. That was the $24 call. So let's look at the 23.5 call. Sold that one for 0.52. And then close sell call. Close sell call. Copy down. No. It incremented. Okay. Let me check out my history here. And normally I don't do the spreadsheet stuff. I just know that this has worked and I can just kind of ballpark it. So I normally just don't even care to do the spreadsheet. But if you really are starting out and you want to know if you're screwing up or not. So one contract I bought back for 7, the other one I bought back for 3. All right. Did not buy any new shares. So cost basis now is 21.27. Oh, move this back over. And we are back in business. Okay, Robinhood. Mara's at 21.38. It's actually pretty close to my cost base, so I'm kind of just breaking even here. But as long as I sell a covered call over 21, which I did, I'm selling the 23-ishes. So this, if this goes up, this will all be pure profit. It'll be like 10% on each covered call. And then of course I got my little sneaky 0.3 shares of MicroStrategy. I mean, I'm figuring this goes up 10x, at least 5x in the next year and a half. So will be nice to bookmark that and revisit that prediction to see what happens. I watched the Quant Bros YouTube video, and there is just so many factors that could drive up MicroStrategy even better than Bitcoin. So I consider myself, I don't know, I guess I have to call myself like maxi adjacent or something, because I guess a pure maxi would be like every spare cent into Bitcoin, cold storage, no discussions. And so there's room in my life for some MicroStrategy, for some mining stocks, try to generate some extra income selling premium, of course, cold storage, and I have a little side of a Tesla habit that I can't seem to break. So Michael Saylor likes to say there is no second best. MicroStrategy probably second best, and got room in my life for third best. A little menage a trois: Bitcoin, MicroStrategy, and Tesla. So that's it for now. Need another 10% just to get over where I started 2 weeks ago. But this is a long-term strategy that is relatively high frequency. So I'm not day trading this really. What did I do? I made like 1 or 2 trades throughout the week, but everything happens on Friday, expiration date Friday. This video is how, I could have done it in half the time if I wasn't shit talking the whole time. So this is something that anybody can do, and I don't want to say it's infuriating, but I still don't understand some of the investors that I interact with, who are freaking awesome, by the way. But it's like 7% for yield in a money market, or a certificate of deposit, or shopping dividends to see how much I can get in passive income. I mean, this takes a little bit of work, but it's not a lot of work. But I think people who put in work are rewarded. So getting 1 or 2% a week and getting 50% returns for the year or 100% returns for the year, like, have I really done enough work to earn that? Doesn't feel like it. But at the same time, some of these investors are even nervous about options, just because one options contract is times 100. It's times 100 shares. So it's a scary thing for the average investor sometimes, let alone the average just person that's handling their own money. Just they have a regular job and they're not even investing, but maybe they're like, oh, I just want to manage my own money. They're probably going to shit themselves trying to sell covered calls and options. But I don't know, maybe I've just been doing it for so long that it's not complicated. I mean, I really had to stretch this out to make this last as long as it did. I mean, I wasn't trying to make it last as long as it did, but if I was doing this on my own, I wouldn't have done any of the spreadsheet crap. I would just kind of eyeball it, what my cost basis is, and actually, I don't even eyeball how much the cost basis is. I just eyeball how much premium and how much call away value I'm going to get next week. I don't really care if I'm upside down on the cost basis. I've done it enough to know that it just works itself out. So it's not even something that I worry about at all. So this took twice as long just because I have to do all the little tidbits and stuff with the spreadsheet and talk about who, what, why, and when. So if you're looking for a minimalist trading strategy that has the potential to provide routine, regular income, this is what I found. So, not financial advice, but it's what I do, and I'm putting it out there in case anybody wants to learn from it or give me some suggestions. I've actually gotten in touch with a couple of other option sellers on X, which I was glad about because at least these are my people that speak my language at least. So, all right, I think that's good for now. Be good, y'all.